Welcome to What Was That? I'm Gabe Sanchez. Following Donald Trump's guilty verdict, MAGA is now fantasizing about violence toward those who oppose their insane and extremist ideologies.
Should Democrats be in jail? No question. When Donald Trump gets elected, should he start locking them up? No question. Should there be lists of Democrats that need to go to jail? 100%. And the reason for that is they've committed crimes. We need to make sure that when Donald Trump wins, we've got an attorney general, a deputy attorney general, a head of the CIA and the FBI. Kash Patel would be fantastic. We can have attorney general. There's some names floating around. And then they can start having their investigators and the feds issuing subpoenas, pulling up evidence, and with real evidence, bring them to judges for warrants. Then these people can spend three years of their lives fighting tooth and nail for the crime against the government for crimes they committed, and we can prove. Yeah. And the reason why we put them on trial is that we can show the whole world we will uncover what you've done. We will make sure everyone knows, and you will be held accountable for it.
Not just jail, they should get the death penalty. You know, we actually used to have the punishment for treason in this country.
What's wrong with her?
Now, on the lighter side of the MAGA spectrum, you have Trump supporters crying because their cult leader is finally being held accountable.
All right, so I'm not taking this conviction very well, as you could tell. He got convicted on all charges, and you know, at this point, we're going to give it to God. God is in control. And
well, God did take control and found Trump
guilty.
He's going to appeal the decision. It's probably going to go up to the Supreme Court. I feel like there's some things that the judge was not fair on, and I think that that's going to be considered in the appeal. But right now, we just need to give it to God and pray on it. Thanks, y'all.
I don't know if MAGA's hypocrisy hit them over the head so hard that they forgot, but these people are the party of law and order. Just comply and back the blue. But of course, when it comes to Donald Trump, those values and catchphrases are meaningless. Now, if you move even further down the MAGA spectrum, you have Trump supporters doxing Michael Cohen and his family because they didn't like that Trump was found guilty. Again, the party of law and order are behaving like such a nice group of law-abiding citizens. And when you go all the way to the end of the MAGA spectrum, you have extremists calling for violence like far-right shock jock Stu Peters. As in Stu Peters, the conspiracy theorist who made a film claiming that COVID is connected to snake venom in the water and that mRNA jabs transform humans into satanic hybrids.
What?
As you can see, MAGA is made up of totally grounded and mentally stable people. After Donald Trump became a convicted felon, Stu Peters posted a message on Telegram. Our judicial system has been weaponized against the American people. We are left with no other option but to take matters into our own hands. Followed by two swords emoji, which leaves very little to the imagination. Following that post, Peters also posted a picture of a noose overlaid with the words extreme accountability. Again, leaving very little to the imagination. Reminds me of this image from January 6th. And like every other Christo-fascist who praises the adulterous and sinful Donald Trump, Peters has a cross and an American flag emojis in his handle. Because, you know, Peters wants everyone to know that he's a God-loving Christian. In fact, Peters is such a loving Christian that back in 2023, he called for the death of Joe Biden's son Hunter as well as Dr. Anthony Fauci.
So we're going to drag Tony Fauci out of retirement. We're going to put him in the docket. We will force him to confront his lies about gain-of-function research. We will read off every single one of the emails that he sent exposing the research that he funded at that bioweapons lab called the Wuhan Institute of Virology. We'll expose all of the emails he sent organizing and promoting the lies that covered it all up. And we will hold him accountable for the millions of lives that his illegal research cost. And when he is convicted, after a short and fast but thorough trial, he will hang from a length of thick rope until he is dead.
I just want to remind everyone watching that Stu Peters claims to be a follower of Jesus Christ. Look, I was raised Catholic, went to church, was part of a Christian youth group, and have actually read the Bible. None of this insanely violent and murderous rhetoric is what Jesus taught. Simply put, Peters is just another unhinged MAGA religious conspiracy theorist who is looking for an excuse to start killing people. On other right-wing Telegram channels, you have the Proud Boys posting images of Trump's conviction with the caption, "War." They're posting videos of them attacking Democrats as well as those who march for Black Lives Matter. They also posted their logo with the words, "Stand Back," which references Trump during the 2020 presidential debates.
Supremacists and
Who would
white
you like me to condemn?
white supremacists and right
Proud Boys,
militia.
stand back and stand by.
Those 5 words would cause membership in the Proud Boys to triple, ultimately leading to them violently storming the Capitol on January 6th. Another person posting on Telegram who is within Donald Trump's orbit of coup plotters is Ali Alexander, founder of Stop the Steal. You might remember him as yet another Republican caught being a pedophile and groomer, asking teenage boys and young men for sexually explicit images. Don't forget, these people claim to be Christians. These are the people who are actively promoting Donald Trump's fascistic messaging. These people need to go touch grass or sit down and have something to drink. Maybe even try today's sponsor, Field of Greens. A small regret is slouching in the dentist chair thinking, I should have brushed and flossed better. A big health regret is listening to your doctor and thinking, I should have paid attention to nutrition when I was younger. Better health today and when it matters most is why I take Field of Greens. Field of Greens is unlike any fruit and vegetable or green product. Field of Greens isn't watered down extracts. Field of Greens is an organic superfood. Each fruit and vegetable was selected by doctors to support vital body functions like heart, liver, kidneys, metabolism, and immune system. And only Field of Greens is backed by a better health promise. At your next checkup, your doctor will notice your improved health or your money back. Don't look back and say, I should have paid attention to nutrition when I was younger. Field of Greens is a key to better health today and when it matters most. Let's get you started with 15% off and free shipping. Visit fieldofgreens.com and use promo code GABE. That's promo code GABE at fieldofgreens.com. Now, another person pushing this right-wing violence is Tim Pool, the beanie-loving Trump supporter who went onto Twitter to declare war. Also, Tim Pool is fighting for Xbox and pizza, which we apparently lost as a result of Trump's guilty verdict. I have no idea what he's talking about, but this is pretty much how I imagine Tim Pool fighting to defend our freedom.
Yeah. You guys, we're totally heroes.
Now, if you happen to forget who Tim Pool is, he's one of the Trump sycophants who helped promote the January 6th insurrection.
On Washington, D.C., January 6th, this could be Trump's last stand. And it's a time when he has specifically called on his supporters to arrive in D.C. That's something that may actually be the big push Trump supporters need to say, this is it. It's now or never. On that day, Trump says, show up for a protest, it's gonna be wild. And based on what we've already seen from the previous events, I think Trump is absolutely correct.
And it was on a recent episode of Tim Pool's podcast where there was a more overt example of MAGA fantasizing about committing violence. Self-proclaimed Islamophobe and mentally unstable Trump supporter Laura Loomer called for Democrats to be executed.
Not just jail, they should get the death penalty. You know, we actually used to have the punishment for treason in this country.
This is the woman that Don Jr. thinks should be his father's press secretary. I mean, Laura Loomer spends so much time with Donald Trump that you would think she was his new wife, probably leaving Melania to say, thank God. Now, after Loomer made this declaration to execute Democrats on Pool's podcast, the feed was abruptly ended on YouTube. She then went on to say that the YouTube livestream was cut because she said that people who commit treason should get the death penalty. I was talking about the people who staged the coup against Donald Trump. They are traitors to our country, and the penalty for treason is outlined in the US Constitution. So if we apply Laura Loomer's logic, that would mean that Donald Trump should also get the death penalty. You know, on account of Donald Trump inciting an insurrection on January 6th to overturn the results of a free and fair election. During Pool's podcast, Loomer also said that she would handcuff herself to Rikers Island Correctional Facility if Trump gets sent there.
I will literally handcuff myself to Rikers if they let me to Rikers.
I think they're going to do it.
You know, I handcuff myself to Twitter. I will literally handcuff myself to Rikers if they try
I'll
to
just arrest you.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I will go to jail for Donald Trump.
They want the photo of him in the jumpsuit. I think they're gonna do it. I think they want him in a jumpsuit. I don't know if it'll be orange because I think they do white ones for like minimum security prisons, but they're not satisfied with the mugshot. And they have no other political plan.
I would love nothing more to see Laura Loomer try to handcuff herself to Rikers. I beg of you, please do it. I mean, she once handcuffed herself to the NYC Twitter office after she got banned for being a racist on the platform. But then she quickly gave up and went home after a few hours. As much as these Trump supporters talk about taking action, most of the time it ends up being laughably pathetic. Just like Trump, they are all talk and no walk, just cowards typing away from behind a keyboard. The same keyboard they used to send Trump money, unwilling to accept the fact that the guy is a convicted felon who has fleeced them out of all of their money. And now, conspiracy theorist Alex Jones is trying to hedge the narrative by claiming that any violence committed is actually a false flag by the Democrats.
I predict, as I've done for the last year, that all these fake indictments and fake convictions that are coming will backfire on the deep state and the globalists. The problem is, if you look at their next playbook and the next card in their playbook, their next move, it will be false flag terror attacks blamed on Trump supporters angry about the verdict. We do not want any violence. We do not want any attacks. We are intellectually, culturally, spiritually winning. We've got to back Trump to the hilt. He's not perfect, but he's America first. He cares about this country, and he actually tried to be the president and turn this country around 90%.
Sure, Jan.
And for any of Trump's extremist supporters who are fantasizing about committing violence, just remember this.
The more you f*** around, the more you're going to find out. And also, if you stay down here and you never f*** around, you'll never find out.
Well, that's all for me today. Thanks so much for watching, and feel free to follow me at I Am Gabe Sanchez. What Was That is made possible by viewers like you. And if you'd like to support the show and get early access to content, you can contribute to my personal Patreon at patreon.com/IamGabeSanchez. So until next episode, I'm Gabe Sanchez, and this has been What Was That?